Brandy, Ray J and Beyoncé caught in the same scandal. Stay tuned, because the truth behind this shocking tape will leave you speechless.
You know, a lot of people say they find it a bit sus how Ray J is always out here defending Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Come to find out, Ray J is allegedly the cleanup man. And more than that, allegedly, he and Beyoncé were sleeping together in front of Jay-Z as he watched. Allegedly.
So I know that Jay-Z is a cuckold, right? He likes to watch Beyoncé with other men. Ray J, from what I heard, even before all this happened, was one of the guys that used to smash Beyoncé while Jay-Z would watch. Diddy, as we know, is into those things.
Now, what I'm hearing is that Brandy also knows that there was an affair between her brother and Beyoncé. And again, allegedly, there's a tape. Let's be clear, guys. This is not something I have seen myself, but I am just serving the tea as it has been spilled. So here's the thing. A lot of people have been side-eyeing Ray J for years, asking why he is always so quick to run to Jay-Z and Beyoncé's defense. Like, every time their names get caught up in drama, here comes Ray J talking about respect, loyalty, blah, 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 blah. For instance, Ray J called out Jaguar Wright for appearing on Piers Morgan Uncensored, where she called out Diddy and Jay-Z for being responsible for a lot of the filth going on in Hollywood. Ray J came to their defense saying, I mean, really, we gotta move away from this type of destructive energy and focus on building, not tearing down. Our culture needs more truth and integrity, not chaos and confusion. People were listening. You got your attention. Is what you're saying true? Because this ish is outrageous. But I came to the conclusion that once I seen a story about me and what you had to say about me and situations in my past, that is where I started to understand that you are totally fabricating stories and you are a complete liar. So that means that I have no respect for you and nothing you're saying. So now I'm gonna go further. How dare you disrespect Jay-Z and Beyoncé? Jay-Z is an OG. Don't ever disrespect Beyoncé. And this was not the only time, by the way. But why would someone like Ray J be out here defending the Carters like his life depends on it? Well, if word on the street is anything to go by, his life does depend on it and is intertwined with the Carters more than we could ever imagine. Enter Jonathan Hay, Rihanna's former publicist. Yes, the same guy who was around during her early Pon the Replay come-up days. And he has been tied to pushing this narrative too. Jonathan himself suggested that Ray J and Beyoncé did in fact hook up. And the wildest part, Jay-Z was allegedly right there watching. I mean, it's giving full-on Hollywood swingers club energy. The thing is, Jonathan was already getting a bunch of mentions because he was Rihanna's publicist at the time when there were rumors about Ree and Jay-Z having an affair. And he actually did an interview with All Hip Hop not so long ago and went into more detail about the historical scandal. He said that after attempting to secure Ree a mention on MTV News failed to drum up the buzz he needed, he then turned to putting out the rumor of the affair, as he was mad at Hov at the time anyway. He was like, I started to get desperate and I was so angry at Jay-Z as he was more focused on Tiara Marie, and there was all this talk that he was pursuing a rapper named Lady Sovereign, who he ended up signing months later. Not to mention, Jay-Z was constantly dissing Emil, who had to quit the music industry and was living in North Carolina at the time, raising her children. The same Emil who said that Beyoncé definitely wanted to hook up with her, and she was kind of disappeared from the industry after outing Bey. Now, Jonathan also said that he was stopped by federal agents who he said were keeping close tabs on Jay since his incident with Lance on Rivera, and he was also being implicated in an incident with R. Kelly during their joint tour. Jonathan said that one day, unmarked law enforcement cars stopped him, and the intimidating individuals introduced themselves as a federal task force, and they requested to speak with him, so he followed them to talk, and he was in a complete state of panic. He said that as he sat in the desolate makeshift interrogation room, and while they questioned him, the gravity of the situation became clear to him. Apparently, the feds clarified that they were investigating Hov for allegedly engaging in X-rated activity with Rihanna when she had not yet turned 18 and illegally transporting her across international borders. According to him, the feds said she wasn't the only one. There were many others. Honey, since then, Jonathan has been spilling all sorts of tea about Jay-Z and Beyoncé, like how Jay-Z allegedly likes transgender women. Did I say allegedly?
Dame Dash knows when they were going on tour that Jay-Z used to have transgender women on there. On the tour bus, he knows that. He knows that Jay-Z used to prefer transgender women. So I don't know why. I wish Dame Dash would come out and, say everything, but maybe in his own way, he's trying to, protect the hip hop culture and knows how many people could be crushed if he came out and really spoke about Jay-Z's secrets.
Okay, that's besides the point. What we are more interested in today is how Jonathan specifically said that Jay-Z loves to watch Beyoncé with other men because he is into that kind of stuff. Then he said that from what he's heard, Ray J is one of the men that was smashing Bey while Jay watched.
But yes, Ray J, from what I was told from being inside at the highest level, that Jay-Z likes to watch Beyoncé with different men, such as Ray J.
I mean, if I'm being honest, nothing really surprises me with Hollywood. And with the confidence with which Jonathan said those words, it makes it even more believable. Plus, a lot of people are saying that they're not even shocked by these claims. Why? Because according to the streets, Beyoncé, allegedly, has a long-standing reputation of being a little, let's just say, loose behind the scenes. And hooking up with Ray J while Jay-Z was watching is not that shocking. For reference, there have been quite a number of stories about how Beyoncé was being passed around back in the day. There have even been allegations that Pimp C's death was linked to an alleged tape with Beyoncé that he was going to leak, and that Jay-Z allegedly took him out before he could do that.
Who was in this Pimp C tape?
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it. But if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. Whoever it was, they would have to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out.
Okay.
A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose.
In fact, according to DJ Paul of 3 6 Mafia, something was just not adding up. And he said that Pimp's manager described seeing Pimp's body laying down like he was praying, but there was blood around like he was hit. They thought he was probably hit in the head, but they didn't know what the hell happened because there was blood everywhere. Based on what DJ Paul said, Pimp was kneeling down like he was praying and candles were all the way burnt down. So they knew he'd probably been dead for a day or so because he always lit those candles to sleep. And the rumor was that Jay was involved. It also doesn't help that there was already something going down between Jay-Z and Pimp C. And in an episode of The Art of Dialogue, record executive Greg Taylor told a story about an awkward encounter that happened over the phone with Jay-Z and Pimp C. The story was that shortly after the deal for Jay-Z and UGK to collaborate on Big Pimpin' was cut, he called Pimp C. And then during the call, that was unfortunately on speakerphone, he delivered the news to Pimp C, and Pimp C straight up dissed Jay-Z and said that he should give the money he was promising them to Tupac's mom.
We set it up a meeting to go meet with Dame Dad. So we go after I leave Java, go to the Rock, to the Rock. As soon as I sit down there, Dame Dad opened up his checkbook, could have checked for $1 million. I'm like, whoa. He like, I was like, is this for sure? He was like, no. He said, we want to UGK. I was like, what? He was like, we want to with your boys.
That's right.
So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C. Because all I was trying to get was 100,000. When Dame cut that $1 million, I called Pimp on the phone like, yo, Pimp, and him and Jamal was in the house. And I could hear a tussle or some type of confrontation, right? And I'm like, calm down, bro. Y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
They was fighting. They was fighting like hard. And I'm like, Pimp, stop whatever you doing right now. I told you what was going down with Jamal when you moved him up in there. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. All we want was 100,000. I was just like, who's that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook. He writing it out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check to go give it to Tupac mama, man. He's gonna be stealing all my shit. I was like, what?
Anywho, there were also rumors that Beyoncé and Mos Def were messing around, and while neither Beyoncé nor Mos Def have ever publicly confirmed a romantic relationship, and their public interactions and documented collaborations are primarily within the scope of their professional work, there were whispers back in the day suggesting a romantic involvement between them. In fact, we even had Cypher Sounds recounting an experience where he spent a weekend with Destiny's Child early in Beyoncé's career before she had achieved her current level of superstardom. Cypher Sounds initially admitted to not being particularly impressed by Beyoncé, whom he perceived as a pop singer, but ultimately found her to be mad cool. But then while recounting that experience, he specifically said that he remembered that Bey and Mos were definitely messing around.
I DJ'd for Mos Def, and we went over to London for some shows, and Destiny's Child was performing there. And I don't know if you know this, and don't tell anybody if you don't, but Mos Def kind of used to mess with Beyonce.
Well, there were other allegations here and there, and let me not even begin with how word on the street was that Queen Bee was actually swinging both ways.
And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls.
So yeah, if we are talking about her allegedly hooking up with Ray J while Jay watched, to a lot of people, it's not far-fetched. Child, if it's true, it paints Ray J's constant ride-or-die energy for the Carters in a whole new light. It's giving guilty conscience meets hush-hush agreement. Some folks online are even speculating that this is why Ray J stays loyal, because he's already crossed the line with their little arrangement. But here's where it gets even wilder. Word on the street is that Brandy, Ray J's own sister, allegedly caught Ray J and Beyoncé together back in the day. Yep, you heard that right. According to these whispers, Brandy supposedly walked in on the two of them in a compromising situation. And the tea doesn't stop there. Some folks are even alleging that there's a tape floating around somewhere, just like Ray J's infamous situation with Kim K, or Beyonce's alleged tape with Pimp C. Now, whether this tape actually exists or if it's just an urban legend the internet refuses to let die is anyone's guess. But the fact that people are even entertaining the idea of Brandy being a witness adds another insane twist to this saga. I mean, imagine your sister being the one to catch you tangled up with one of the biggest superstars in the world. Baby, I personally don't know what to believe. But you let me know if you think Ray J being super defensive of the Carters is sus in the comments section below.